This is a HeadGum podcast.
All right, go ahead.
Dear universe, thank you. Every single day we wake up and we challenge ourselves to be the best people possible, and thank you for that. Thank you, universe, for sharing us the energy you have through light and courage.
That was beautiful, Will.
Thanks. It's from my new book,
What's it called?
Kondalunu.
Tell me about it.
Well, Kondalunu is an ancient scripture that was once written by a man known as Guru Hamasen. And the thing about Guru Hamasen is that he always speaks truly. Never once has a word been uttered from his mouth that was false. There is no such thing as a falselyhood to him. When he first wrote the Kondalunu, it was 1802.
Guys, welcome to Dynamic Banter. This is the podcast where Mike Falzone and I usually talk about fucking nothing. But this time, Mike Falzone's not here. He's actually on his honeymoon.
Yeah, interesting though.
Yeah, he's on his honeymoon, and he forgot to tell me. He didn't tell me. He told everybody else. But he didn't tell me he was going on his honeymoon.
Mike is weird as hell.
I mean, in what way?
I just I don't everything. Whenever I'm talking to him, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what do you do when you're not here? What are you doing?
You think he's got a weird life that we don't know about?
I honestly feel like Mike Falzone goes he does his little stand-up comedy shows, and he goes to the back room and just keeps eating melatonin gummy bears.
You think he's got a vice that we don't know about?
Yeah, melatonin gummy bears.
What the fuck are melatonin gummy bears?
It's this shit you can get at Target, and it makes you go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. But they're like, oh, it's not as bad as these other drugs, but I bet you it is.
Listen, Mike Falzone is a good man.
Yeah, honestly.
He's a great man.
He's a real man.
He didn't tell me he was going on his motherfucking honeymoon. So I was texting him about some event that I'm trying to plan. And I asked him for his help. I'm just putting him on blast right now. This is what I'm doing. I'm putting him on blast. I asked him for his help on this thing, and he was like, yeah, dude, totally. And so I texted him about it and was like, hey, man, what can you help me figure this out? And he was like, yeah. Listen, I'm on a plane to Mexico right now. And I was like, Mike Falzone flies to places. He flies around and does comedy shows in all around the U.S. He flies places. He flies home. He flies to Connecticut. He flies to...
oh my God, I just realized some important shit. Okay, yeah, he flies to Connecticut.
He flies all over the fucking place. So when he said, I'm flying to Mexico, it didn't really dawn on me that was his honeymoon. That's what he's doing. So...
Forward, yeah.
So anyway, I was just like... Dude, I need to figure out how to call this venue for this event thing, and I need some info. And he's like, when I come back on the 13th, we'll talk about it. And I was like, what did I do? What did I do to upset him?
Yeah.
I felt like I upset him.
I feel like you did upset him, and this is his way of backlashing at you through passive aggressive tones.
I think it was,
yeah.
But I think it was because of a lack of a communication.
Oh.
I think he didn't. I think he thought I knew where he was, and he thought I knew he was on his fucking honeymoon, and I didn't know. So I think he figured I'm bothering him on his fucking honeymoon, which is understandable.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is someone texting you about work shit.
Yeah.
While you're on a plane with your beautiful wife.
He just married Zoya.
He's living a good life right now.
Low key, I wanted to marry Zoya.
Low key, we all want to marry
and
Zoya.
I think I told him that, and I don't know if I told him not to say that to her. So, but yeah.
I looked in Zoya's eyes the other day, and I said, I love you.
It's because she's real.
I said it. I just said it. And it felt more real than it had ever been with anybody.
Ever. I know what you mean. Yeah, I sat next to her at one of Mike's one of his stand-up shows, and she was just asking me if I wanted to get nachos and split them. And I was like, oh, you're really a good, genuine person,
she's
aren't
amazing.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you love me.
We've talked at great length about Zoya on this show, and I think we build her up a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is enough. Like, you can't build her up enough.
Yeah.
She really is
I think
just
that too.
an amazing person. She's a one-of-a-kind person who doesn't... We've talked about it. We've talked about this at great length. She doesn't take shit from anybody. And she'll tell you straight up if she's pissed off at you about something, and I respect that.
I love myself, a mean, aggressive woman. My mom is a very mean, aggressive woman. She's the yeller of the household.
Can we give your mom a 2-horn honk?
Yeah. And actually, let me give her 2-horn honk, too. Mommy, I love you. That's just what I want her to know.
Is your mom listening? Is she a fan
No,
of
my mom
Dynamic
doesn't
Banter?
listen to anything I say. I don't think
Does she
anymore.
listen to podcasts? Do you think your mom listens to podcasts?
No.
If your mom, what subject matter would it have to be for your mom to get into
I think
a
I
podcast?
gotta. I think I'd have to be talking about the church. Maybe I should get on a church.
I'm talking about
podcast.
just in general. Like, what kind of podcast that exists? Because there's a
Oh, for her
podcast
just
for
to list
everything.
them one.
Yeah.
Oh.
What subject matter
I
would
think
get her interested in podcasts?
The issue with her and many baby boomers is that it's too deep in the phone. My mom couldn't go that deep in the phone
yeah.
to get to a podcast.
It's like, you're right. It's like when someone at the top of when you're in the restaurant and you're in a fancier restaurant and you're like, excuse me, sir, where's the restroom? And they're like, you're going to go down those stairs, you're going to go to the left, and then you're going to make an immediate right. And then it's going to look like a ballroom. You're going to go past that room. You're going to go all the way down the hall, and then you're going to make a left, and those are the bathrooms.
Exactly.
And there's no way in hell you're going to remember that. Ever. So you're on an adventure.
Yeah, I remember I used to not use public restrooms, and that was a part of it. Like, I don't like to be in potential situations where I can't get to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I've been having this strange thing lately. I don't know if I'm getting older. I don't know if it's an anxiety thing, but I've been having to piss immediately.
Yeah?
Like, it's
like
not,
as soon as you drank something?
Yeah, like I was like, oh, I drank something. Here, it better come out my dick.
You got a pee-pee problem.
Yeah, I got
Maybe you got diabetes.
Problems. Sometimes I think that because like
possible.
I probably exercise too much and don't eat enough. So if I got diabetes, I'm gonna be pissed.
When was the last time you got your blood work done?
Honestly, it's been a minute since I've had my blood work done. I'm bad at going to the doctor.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that he's gonna give me news.
I know, man. That's the biggest problem I have with doctors. Is like, I know I have shit. Like, I know I likely have the thing that's gonna kill me already happening in my body.
Yeah.
And I don't want to find it.
I
want it to be too late. I want the way that I go is like gonna be one of those stories where like, fuck, if he had just gone to the doctor,
right?
He could have gone through all those painful surgeries and he would have been bedridden for months and he would have gone all those procedures and family would have, oh man, if he had just gone through all that pain and torture, he'd be alive right now.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was I thought I had AIDS for 22 years.
What the fuck, Will?
Okay, let me tell you why.
What the fuck?
When I was 12, I don't know. It's just a weird anxiety thing.
By the way, we're 7 minutes into this podcast, and our guest host today is William Haynes.
Oh, hey, what's up, y'all? So when I was 12, my parents sent me to like day camp. And I go home at night, but it was day camp, and all the kids.
And were you sharing needles?
No. I've never put a needle in me because I'm smart.
Yeah, I've never put a needle in me either.
Yeah, and we went
you ever gotten a needle like a thread needle and stuck it into like the part of your thumb in the corner where you can stick something through and it won't hurt? You ever done that?
And it won't hurt.
Like there's this like corner up here on your thumb.
Oh no, I've seen people do that.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. There's like corners of your thumb up top right, top left.
Yeah.
You could just stick a needle right through it. I just thought that would look cool. I was a weird kid. Continue.
Yeah.
You went to summer camp.
I've seen people do that. Yeah, and we went to a lake. I couldn't swim. I'd never been to anything like this before. And I remember I wasn't gonna swim, so I just walked to the shallow part of the water, and I got a cut on my foot, and it started bleeding just a little bit.
Oh shit!
And I was like, there are 100 kids in this water. One of them's got AIDS. I just got AIDS too. So for years, in the back of my head, I was like, you know what? I probably got AIDS.
So you just lived comfortably with the fact that you had AIDS.
Yeah, and I was like, and it stopped. I was like, okay, that means I don't need to do any like sex having. I'm just gonna focus on my shit.
You took care of some problems by having AIDS.
Yeah, and until I was 22, and then my girlfriend at the time was like, let's get an AIDS test. And I was like, you're absolutely right, or just a test in general.
Oh, and you did that.
And I did, and they were of course like, you're good. And then I was like, oh.
Were you scared?
Yeah, but it's so irraid Like, and I didn't really think that, but that was just a thought in the back of my head, for 22 years.
Let me ask you this question: Did they stick a cotton swab into your penis.
Yeah. No, no. I went into this room and like they took a bunch of different types of blood out of me and like fusion.
They didn't put anything inside your
No,
penis.
they didn't put anything in my dick. The funny part is though, the other reason I went to the doctor that day.
I guess they only put something in your dick if you're like, man, when I pee, there's like an itch.
Yeah.
Or like, I've got this pungent aroma around my penis.
Itch. That would suck so much. I went to the
people got
doctor
it,
that
baby.
day because I thought I had an enlarged prostate.
I mean, that could happen.
The doctor was like, "You're stupid." I kept telling him, "I need you to check." I was like so ready. I was like, "Just give me the prostate exam." But he was like, "You're too young. It's not likely."
What made you think that? You had like a pressure?
I think I just always worried about the worst possible scenario.
Hypochondriac, man.
Yeah. About everything in life.
Hypochondria is real.
Yeah.
I used to have that shit all the time. I think I have everything. I still think I have everything.
Yeah, I still think I have everything too.
It freaks me out. Like I said, I think I currently have the thing that is going to end up killing me.
Yeah.
In my body. And rather than go have the doctor look at it, I would rather just silently let it take
the
me.
doctor knows.
The doctor knows, and then you got to do all that shit. Then you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to go to a hospital. You got to go into surgery and shit. I don't want to do any of that. Life sucks, Will.
I've been feeling so anxious lately, Steve.
Yeah, man.
And
That's
it's
my
because
life. Welcome to my life.
I honestly think it's because I haven't given myself anything to really worry about. Like I haven't been working on a project. Like I finished my second mixtape. Like I'm not pushing it. I'm just going to work and then going home. And when I'm just not moving like that, it just fucking freaks me the fuck out.
You're a workaholic, man.
Yeah.
You need to like calm down.
Yeah.
You're too young to be like filling your life with nothing but work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people like tell me like, how do you do so much shit? It's because like you literally see everything I do.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever done.
I mean,
is out
I get
there.
it, man. Like this is a
Love.
fucking terrifying industry we
Yeah.
are in currently.
I'm desperately afraid of falling behind.
Yeah, I get it. And in the YouTube world, it's a real thing. Like it's a real thing. Like I don't think I've ever seen Phil stop making a video ever. Like there's not I don't think he's ever taken a vacation.
Yeah.
Like and when he does, he has like 3 or 4 videos lined up, or he'll make a video while he's on vacation and he puts it up. And I think that's
man.
It's just I mean, you got a business. What you're making is a business. And I
Yeah.
get not wanting to stop. And you know, I mean, look, I'm always busy, but like I could be busier.
Yeah.
But I think I'd go fucking insane if I
Yeah.
tried to get even busier.
I really want to do this. Like I
get it, man.
I love doing whatever it is that we do. I love it.
That's how you succeed.
And
When you really love it.
yeah, I really do. It's just like I would love it more if I like stepped away from it and didn't do it for a while.
So what happened with you and Darren?
You're the fucking best. Oh,
Welcome
God.
to Ear Biscuits.
You're the fucking best, Steve.
What happened? Let me ask you something.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Can you retain information very well?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it. So like, and because I was talking about finding the bathroom.
Yeah.
And how the person's like go to the left, the right,
Yeah.
and then go all the way down the hall.
Oh, you mean
and shit.
retain information like that? Yeah.
Like
uh-huh.
small, like
Yeah.
short instructions.
Yeah.
Like in the world before GPS, like which I did actually have a car. I drove around in the world before there were GPS machines, or at least before there were the affordable ones, and I had fucking straight up MapQuest printouts in my fucking car. I had 3 motherfucking printed sheets of paper.
Oh, yeah.
And the third page had a fucking Priceline ad on the fucking, and that's all it was.
You had to really like print that shit out off Google Maps.
You
which I
had
used
to
do
go
too.
to Google Maps. Not even Google Maps. You had to go to MapQuest.
Yeah.
And you had to type in where you're going and where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And then you would print that out, and then you would hope to fuck you didn't fuck something up.
Why did you bring this up?
Because I was thinking about how like when someone says, because you compared your mom not wanting to go to listen to podcasts to the reason you said the reason why she wouldn't is because it's too many steps.
Yeah.
For her to get to the podcast app.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then from there you still have to find a fucking podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking about and comparing that to like when someone says the bathroom is down here and shit, and I was just thinking, is it just me? Or is it like when I'm like, excuse me, sir, in the rare instance when I see someone on the side of the road and I'm trying to get somewhere and I'm in another part of the world I've never been to or something.
Yeah.
On the rare occasion I ask someone, do you know where the Civic Auditorium is or something? And they go, yeah. You're going to want to go like about half a mile on 5th. Then you're going to take a left on Seaward and then a right on McHutchins and then get on the freeway and then get off about half mile onto Brebery.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I think it was I was 16. I had to go to this party. I was so excited because this is of the 5 parties I went to in high school. And my dad was going to drive me and my friend Martin. And I had to write out the directions off of Google Maps.
Sure.
And I remember I just wrote, and then right, and then left, and then right, and then left. And I didn't write where to go right and left. And so we got in the car, and we pulled out he was like, I wrote the first one.
You didn't write any other information other than the direction to turn in.
Yeah, not when you turn, not when you do it. And, like, that's when you have kids, and it's like, my dad should have been like, he's like, but you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so upset, but like, whatever. Okay.
I mean, what do you do? Like, nowadays, there's no worry. There's nothing to worry about because we have our phones and everybody else has a phone. And if you don't have access to a phone, you can get someone else's phone. There is every possible way in the world for you to get back on track because of technology. But back in the day, like, you had to just trust your friend was going to be at this place to pick you up at 5 o'clock p.m. And you just had to trust that they were going to be there. There was no way for you to call and say, what's your ETA? Text, are you almost here? You just had to trust someone's word that they were going to fucking be there on time.
And if something goes wrong, I feel like that's kind of fucked up movies because now it's like, why don't you just call?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just text? Because the plot to most things in life is if something's wrong, is because there's no communication.
Yeah.
And like
old movies have that problem.
They're usually like, oh, well, we can't get to Jansen.
Dude, I just watched this classic film called Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Have you heard of this movie?
I heard of one. I think the sequel was Whatever Happened to Sarah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You don't remember the sequel?
Listen, there's this new show that came out, and it's called Feud.
Uh-huh.
And it's from the guys that did American Horror Story, and it stars Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon. And it's about the feud that Betty Davis and Joan Crawford actually had in real life while they were making the film Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. So this show is amazing. I've only seen the first episode. Brie and I watched it, and it was amazing. But while we were watching it, they're talking about making the movie Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. And so Brie was like, have you ever seen this movie? And I was like, no, I've never seen this movie. And she's like, we need to watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. So we watched it last night, and while I was watching it, I realized that movie wouldn't exist. That whole plot wouldn't work if there were just cell phones.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the cure to most things.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny because I feel like humans are getting better and better at communication as time goes on.
Yes.
Like now we can really communicate with people in Japan if we wanted to. Right
Yeah.
now you could talk to somebody over there. And back in the day, if you wanted the perspective of someone on the other side of the world, you just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And it's strange because it's also done bad for us because now we've huddled back into our own little forms of communication. This is where I communicate with people that only think like me.
Right.
Through the internet.
Right.
And it's kind of it's great that we can communicate, but it's also shown us it's given voices to the different subgroups that we didn't want to speak to.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. Communication is key though. So like if we couldn't talk to each other, when we can't speak to each other, there's issues.
I think we just need to put more faith in the smarter people and the people who are intelligent enough to spread the right information.
Intelligent enough to spread the right information. Yeah. Ooh, and it's also subjective in life. That's the thing. It's like from my perspective, this is good. And I know what mine is. I know how I was brought up. And I know what my definition of good is. Yeah. And someone else's definition of good is different.
Yeah.
And it kills me. I can't sleep at night.
Owen and I were talking about this just before he went to work today. We were talking about how regionally, depending on where the fuck you were born in the world, you're going to believe in one thing, basically. or you're going to be taught one thing, more or less, generally. This is a generalization. A lot of people are taught different things in different places. But depending on where you're born, you might think a certain way. You might believe in certain things. And forever, you'll just think that's right.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Because we think we're right. I think I'm right.
I think I'm right all the time.
My philosophy is be nice to people, be respectful to people. And that's it. Make people laugh, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's it. And I think that's right. But there's people who are like, nah, because that's how you get taken advantage of, and that's like the pussy way to do it. Yeah. Or someone else would be like, well, you got to let God into your life, or but politics, and there's all these other. There's just there's this overpopulation of people that all think different things, and nobody knows who's right.
I think to me, what I've learned is I got to know what I know. And surround myself with people who know what they know.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really solve the problem. It just keeps you surrounded by people who think the way you do, and then you get things like the KKK.
The KKK, yeah, the KKK. No, but I was talking to a friend of mine recently about how like the KKK people are terrible. They do terrible things, but what I respect them for is the fact that they admit that they're racist. I'm like, thank you so much.
Wow, that's great.
For just keeping it real. Because so many people are like, I'm not racist. What does that even mean? What is a racist? They're like, yeah, we don't like black people. Yeah. So like, thank you for that honesty. It's like, y'all can't say they're liars. I mean, I'm sure they lie about a bunch of other shit.
Hate that, like, I don't like it that you can just look at someone and then just be like, that person looks different, so I'm gonna not be their friend, and they're inferior to me.
I don't know. I think about I've been thinking too much about insane people lately. It's killing me. I keep trying to understand and rationalize it. But like, you know, some people are different. I don't know. It seems to come that they were raised that way, and their parents taught them to believe such negative things.
What do you find funny these days, Will?
Oh, God, I don't even laugh, man. You and Falzone, honestly, are the only people that be making me laugh and shit.
I get it, man.
Yeah, I just, like, I don't know.
These are dark times.
Yeah, it's so dark right now. Yeah. It's so dark right now. It kills me.
I was just talking to a friend of mine who I miss making videos with, and we were talking about how we need to make funny videos together because life is not funny right now. And she was like, nothing's funny. We need to, like, make shit funny. We need to, like, keep making funny shit.
You're right, and I want to make some funny shit. I haven't felt like being funny until recently. Like, I went through a while where I think I was going through a dark time, and I was like, these are the ways that I need to express that. But I actually do feel like being funny these days. Yeah? Yeah, because you're right, people do need a laugh.
You're going through all these goddamn phases, Will, and it's terrifying me because you're like a rapper now. Yeah. And you're like, but you also still are a comedian.
I didn't slow it down at that creator. One bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it hard to take yourself seriously making rap music, or do you think
no, not at all.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like, I could never make serious music because I'm too critical of my own stuff. And I would be like, no matter what I would try to do that would be serious, I'd just be like, oh, this is just dumb and not good and not funny. Like, it's all about funny.
When I first started making music, I was actually doing a character called Fraser Kennedy. I was making a fake rap persona. It was a video, we were making, John and I was going to act like a rapper, and we went to this studio, and I was like, we went in the studio, and I was like doing all this fake rapper shit, and then that guy ended up, I recorded my first mixtape in that studio, but I just kept trying to write comedy rap music, and I couldn't do it. I just kept writing how I really felt, and that's what, like, I don't know, that's why I haven't had a hard time taking myself seriously, because whatever, I just really write how I feel.
I do have a respect for that. Like, I respect people who are able to write what they feel, and it comes out genuinely genuinely heartfelt and serious. Yeah. I have a respect for that. Like, Bree is a poet. Bree writes beautiful poetry, and she's, like, very good at it. And I've read a lot of her poems, and they're great. But I'm like, I could never do that. I could never write a fucking poem.
Really?
Yeah, because it would just end up having a fucking fart joke in it.
Yeah, that's you.
Or suddenly it would be like, I'd be like, I would be talking about, like, anxiety or something that actually affects me or something, and then I'd say, like, and anxiety to me is like pussy, 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 pussy. You know, I can't do it. I can't not add a weird dumb joke in it because I don't want to be serious. There's a time and a place to be serious, I think. And for me, just couldn't, like, in school I couldn't handle when things were serious. At work I can't handle when things are serious. It's just boring and uncomfortable, and nothing ever good comes from it, in my opinion. That's sort of closed-minded, but you know.
Everything changed for me around June, July, August last year, and before that, I used to have the same issue where whenever people would start talking about serious shit, I would just laugh and I couldn't control it. Yeah. I've kind of since then, I feel like I've taken control of my body, so that's not something that affects me anymore. But I know exactly what you mean, because I know we would always be in these situations at work and we just couldn't take it seriously. Yeah. And I don't know. I agree. I really think you can make music, though. Literally, the only person holding you back is yourself.
Yeah, I know. And I know that. I just... Yeah.
And that's not even cliche. That's just true.
It's true. Yeah. I just think the want in me to make serious stuff has not happened yet. Maybe as I get older, it'll happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's never too late. Like, I was just watching that Johnny Cash Hurt video last night. You know,
that's
when he's
the
like,
saddest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's dying.
He's like definitely dying.
Yeah, he's
in that video.
Yeah, and that's why it's so incredible, and it's like wet. When I call songs that I like wet, it's like wet with emotion, because like he's on his way out, and that's I think that's my dream. I desperately want to be an old man doing this. Like if you think about Bernie Sanders, strip him of all politics. Strip him of all politics.
Yeah.
Pretend he agrees with you. I was just like, he's really like an old ass man, still trying to do this.
Yeah.
He really ran for president that old, and he knew people were gonna say he was old, and he really yelled at the top of his lungs.
And he's still out there right now. He lost, and he's still fucking pushing.
Yeah. I just it's
very respectful.
My dream is to be an old man like that, and I just, with all my might, I hope that people allow me to do that. I hope people allow me to keep going.
You'll be able to do it. I mean, look, you are in control of that. I feel like, and you know, I don't think anybody can stop you from doing that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's all. I think I realized that was my goal. I've been feeling really goalless lately, and I think that's what's been giving me anxiety.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the old Will and Steve shows we used to do live on my YouTube channel.
Oh boy, you're talking about back then.
Back in the day. Condo days.
Oh god, that was probably those were dark times.
If I made an album, it would be called Condo Days. If I was making like a serious album, it would be called Condo Days. I actually was just thinking,
my new mixtape, The Rise, I was like, I should have called it Woodland Hills.
Oh yeah. A lot of shit happened in Woodland Hills.
A lot of shit happened in Woodland Hills.
But let's talk about this fucking Will and Steve's half-hour comedy hour, the half-hour midnight comedy hour, or whatever the fuck it's called. Why did we do that? Because we were bored and we were both. Because I was in a weird place.
You were in a weird place. I don't remember why. That was one of the saddest people. Oh, just remembered. Ooh, great. Gonna keep that to myself.
Okay.
But yeah, I was really sad.
Yeah.
And so I think, let's be honest, you don't like being alone.
Yeah, I do not like being alone. No.
I do like being alone. But I just, at that moment, you just were like calling on me to be with you. And I was like, that's what I feel like I need to do.
Yeah.
2014, right? Yeah.
I believe it was 2014, maybe the end of 2014 or something. Yeah,
were
dark times for me. I was in a dark place.
Yeah, and I felt, and someone was asking me about that recently, and I was just like talking to them, and I realized that I know all of it. I was like, but once again, I thank you and Owen so much for being around me at like 20 years old, because like I have the perspective of 30-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel too old.
I think we gave you a lot of knowledge, but I think we also, Owen and I are a rare breed.
Oh, yes,
we're like very strange birds. We're very like not typical guys. We're like just weird and hermit-esque, and we love movies, and
I legitimately love you guys.
Yeah,
I hope you know that.
Thanks, man.
For the rest of my life, like I hope that I can always come see you guys.
Yeah, Owen's like, I don't know what the fuck would happen to Owen if I died. Let's be honest about that. Because Owen is like very dependent on the connective tissue of my life for all the other things in his life.
He's down for you. I wish I had Owen. Oh my god.
I mean, he's a very loyal, good friend. Yeah. And we get each other on a weird molecular level. But, and on a level that no one else gets us.
He kind of, I mean, like, it puts it on you. It's like, you got to do it. It's just, you. I think you have, like, if you look at it from the perspective of no matter what you do, like, Owen's going to help you do it. And, so just do it.
Owen's like, the scene in Empire Strikes Back when Yoda's in Luke's backpack and he's running around and he's kind of training Luke. And Owen's the Yoda in my backpack, and I'm the one running around doing the Force and stuff. But he's not teaching me anything. He's just in that backpack. And every once in a while, he'll say a really funny thing, or he'll edit a video for me, and then I'll be like, "That's cool. That helped me move this rock. Thanks, man."
I mean, spend some time apart and you'd probably get a different perspective on it.
Owen's like a less caring Yoda.
A less caring Yoda. It's because y'all are on the same level. Like Yoda has like 200 years. Y'all both are like the same level.
And Owen is like the oldest 30-year-old I've ever met in my life.
He really is.
Like the shit he says blows my mind. He's got some grandpa ass get off my lawn shit.
Yeah, he's old man pissed.
Yeah.
To be this young, but I love him. Yeah. Our shows though really were great, and what we used to do, I think, is because we were going through such depressive times. We just really we free form expressed it. And ironically, I think a lot of people like. They related somehow. Even though we were feeling as shitty as humanly possible, we just went out there and said, like, expressed anything.
I think for me personally, my personal life was spilling out onto the internet.
Yeah. Oh God.
While I was going through some pretty terrible personal stuff.
Yeah.
And while that was happening,
people don't know what it's like to look down into a video you made about something completely different,
and then suddenly all the comments. I mean, look, dude. The thing is like I'm not asking for any pity, or I'm not asking for people to feel sorry or bad for me about it, because this is the life I chose, the entertainment life, and being an entertainer and being on camera.
It's definitely
and this
part
all
of it.
Comes with that.
Exactly.
And when people are like, I can't believe all my dirty laundry is out. It's like, this is part of the package. It really just is.
Love
and especially
is
if I was going to have, my ex in videos and shit. And especially if you're a couple that makes videos together and builds an entire channel around a couple, I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen marriages and relationships that use that as the way to propel a YouTube business literally fall and crumble and fall apart because relationships are flawed and they sometimes don't last.
Interesting.
But for me, I think it was like during the time when we were starting to do the live shows, it was like there was this intense sadness and pain and all this terrible shit happening in my head. But there was also the need to make people laugh and entertain people and laugh myself.
Yeah.
And push away all the bad stuff so that I could laugh. And you and I had this weird dynamic where we would just make each other laugh saying the dumbest shit. And
watching the dumbest movies.
Yeah, and it's like we and watching the dumbest movies and playing dumb video games and TV shows like Wonder Chosen and shit.
Oh God, you showed me the worst shit during those times.
Yeah, dude, that's like so underground shit.
Underground. Yeah, I'm so thankful.
I'm glad I got to show you that stuff because I feel like that's important. I almost was taking you under my comedy wing a little bit.
Yeah, because I think about it like people don't know I used to be a quiet person.
Yeah.
Until I met you. Like if you go back home to all the people in Richmond, they're all like, Will was a quiet person. But now I go in rooms just like yelling sometimes.
Yeah, but dude, you had this, and you still do have this kind of natural, I don't give a fuck kind of attitude that that you always just had. Like even as a quiet Will, even as your shy quiet Will that I remember first meeting, you still had this like fearless, I'm gonna say something out loud in this room full of people and I don't care what anybody says, or I'm gonna literally go over to that stranger and just start talking to them. And to me, it's like, even for me, it takes a little bit of like pumping up in my head to do it. And for you, it just seemed like you literally don't care about the consequences and you just fucking go for it.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, like, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta say how you feel.
Yeah.
And I that's why like I admire, and I feel, and I've been upset with him lately, but I admire Kanye. Have you seen those clips of him where he just went on TV and said whatever?
No, sometimes I mean, was this a while back?
Yeah, like when he was like during the Hurricane Katrina.
Isn't he like not okay right now?
Yeah, he's probably not okay. But what I admired about him is the fact that who cares what he said? He felt it, and he took a publicly viewed thing to express how he felt.
Right.
Like I felt like I kind of do that sometimes. Like when I met Trump and I told him how I really felt. Like just sometimes when you have the opportunity to say how you feel, you should take it.
What was that like meeting Trump, man?
Crazy. Honestly.
Do you think about it still?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. Like, it's weird to say because, like, Trump is obviously the type of person he is, but he helped me a lot in my life because I had never been encountered by it. Like in anime terms, that was the big boss. Like Trump is the big bad guy.
But at the time, was he? At the time,
yeah, he still was.
I feel like he was definitely a boss.
Yeah. He wasn't the biggest boss.
Like in a video game, like he's not he wasn't the biggest boss at the time, but he was definitely one of the main level bosses.
Yeah.
And like he was terrifying and scary.
Yeah.
But like I remember having this overwhelming feeling of there's no way this guy's gonna be
I was like that too.
this guy's gonna
Maybe
be the
that's why I
president?
said what I said to him. Like, but to me, at that moment, when I said to him, "What's your biggest issue with minorities right now?" I learned that you could say whatever the fuck you want to anybody, and I haven't worried about it since. And I'm thankful to him for that. But
But that experience must have been
it changed my life. Yeah,
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we got to do a quick ad read really quick. And Will, feel free to chime in if you want, but
Is this mine?
yeah, that's yours, baby.
Love
Drink
is real,
it.
and thank you for reminding me that.
Love
tonight.
is real, man. I swear to it. Let's talk a little bit about Harry's Razors, today's sponsor. Excuse me, let me clear my throat here. Let me tell you guys a little bit about my experience with Harry's Razors. I got a box. Mike Falzone brought me a box of Harry's Razors, and I use them daily to shave the disgusting hair around my
I was
neck.
about to say you look good.
Thanks,
right now.
man. It's because I'm using these Harry's Razors on my neck, and so I have no neck beard, and I can't be called a neck beard on the internet.
Like it legitimately looks good. That's a good.
Thanks,
beard,
man.
Steve.
Thank you. It really is. It's partially genetics, but mostly Harry's Razors.
Wow.
And
it's trimmed right.
I love it, dude. In fact, I really do feel like personally Harry's has been the best shave I've had with a razor. I don't shave much because I got my full beard going, but I do shave around the old problem areas.
Yeah.
And I shave on my cheeks. And sometimes I'll shave the soul patch because my soul patch doesn't connect to the rest of my beard, and so I just have this lonely island of hair under my lip, and God knows what isolated, sad creatures are living there, not enjoying the splendor that is the rest of my beard. And so sometimes I'll just shave the whole thing off because I feel real bad for it.
I love you, man.
Will, have you used Harry's Razors at
I
all?
don't think I have.
Well, I'll tell you, I do love many things about the razors.
Okay.
I love how comfortable and smooth the shave experience is.
Okay.
I've never gotten like a nick or a cut using their razors.
Okay, yeah, I've been getting nicked and
That's
cut
some
on my
important stuff,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe I need to make a transition.
I've used a lot of other goddamn garbage blades on my face, and I gotta tell you what, it does not compare to the Harry's experience. And a little bit of background on Harry's: it was started by two guys, Jeff and Andy, who were just fed up with being overcharged for razors. So they decided to start their own razor company to give guys everywhere what they deserve: a great shave at a fair price, guys. And then I'll tell you what, they've been making those blades. They bought a factory that for 100 years of blade making experience under their belt, so they can make their own high quality razors. That's some awesome stuff. And I'll tell you what, Harry's Razors include everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. The 5 German engineered blades, the lubricating strip, it feels so good on your skins. The flex hinge for a comfortable glide, the trimmer blade for those hard-to-reach places, and the weighted ergonomic handle. And guys, guess what? You ready for the bucks? Here we go. All of this for $2 a blade. That's right, $2. All right? Compared to the $4 or more you will pay at the drugstore. And I'll tell you what, those drugstore razor buying experiences are a bunch of horse trash. So here's the thing, guys. Harry's is so confident in their quality of their blades and their razors, they want you to try their most popular trial set absolutely free. And I believe that's the set I got that has all the little samplers in it, and I absolutely love it. It comes with a razor handle of your choice, a 5-blade cartridge, and shaving gel, which feels also nice and smells good too. And that's free when you sign up, guys. You just pay a small fee for shipping. No big deal. So guys, to redeem your free trial offer, go to harrys.com/banter right now. That's harrys.com/banter, and get yourself a good shave. Get yourself the shave you deserve.
The shave you deserve. All right. I'm feeling it.
So,
I love you.
okay. I love you too. Well,
I know you do.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a warm person.
You and I have made it through some tough times,
Yeah,
man.
I've been mad at you before.
Yeah, I've been mad at you too.
Yeah, that's how I know I love you is
Yeah.
because I've been mad at you.
Well, you gotta be mad. Like, there's no such thing as a friendship or a relationship that doesn't have some sort of conflict at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fucking weird man baby that has weird shit in my life, and that's not always gonna work with everybody.
Yeah.
And you're like a 9-year-old boy basically forever, and you're never gonna grow up.
I feel like I'm somewhere between 9 and 109.
You're on the younger end of 9.
The younger age of
Forever.
9. I don't even remember.
You're always
being
gonna
9.
be a young boy, Will. How do you feel about that? You're like a 22-year-old guy now.
23 now.
You're 23.
Yeah.
You will always look like a 12-year-old.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah.
I'm interested in becoming older.
Don't do that.
I was about 15 years old when I first found an enema. I don't even know what an enema is.
Really?
Yeah, what is that?
An enema is a multi-use item. Some people.
Oh, you put it up your ass
Yeah.
to clean out up in there. Okay.
Well, sometimes there's also a douche.
Low key, I want to see what that feels like, but
Yeah.
no, thank you.
I mean, I have a bidet, which is kind of like the low key version of that a little bit. It's not as intrusive as a enema.
I don't think you respect me. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? I don't think you respect me. I don't think you know who I am. You don't ponder on the love we've had for several years like I do.
I don't need you to promote your rap album on my podcast.
Please
Will.
get The Rise for free on SoundCloud, on Spotify. What sucks is other people have the same name as both of my mixtapes. Other more popular rappers have projects of the same name.
Sure. Oh,
So,
do they really?
yeah.
Because it's impossible. Everything has been used already.
Yeah, everything has been. Like,
Pretty much.
I want to. That is truly my life's mission, though. My dad used to always say that when I was a kid, that every idea has been done before.
Yeah.
I want to find the one that's not. There's something new out there in the universe, and I want to find it.
Maybe there's something new, but I think it's more of like the combination of things has not been done. Like, like no one has really ever like wanted to go. No one has asked for a tree bark sandwich at a restaurant.
What is a tree bark sandwich?
Literally what you think
Yeah.
it is.
A tree bark sandwich. Okay.
A sandwich with tree bark in it. No one has ever gone to a Red Lobster and said, "Do you guys have tree bark sandwich?" No one. I guarantee no one's asked.
Maybe by accident, there was something on the menu that looked like the word tree bark,
Maybe.
and they just accidentally said tree bark, and the
Maybe.
waitress laughed, and all the kids laughed.
Do you think someone's ever gone to McDonald's and asked for all of their mayonnaise?
Yes.
You think
I
so?
think McDonald's has had everything that can happen to it. McDonald's is like that. I'm not even going to go there.
What do you think is the weirdest thing someone's been asked for at McDonald's?
Something super personal. It's some guy works at McDonald's, and he's really in
Like,
love.
do you have my baby blanket in there? I lost it when I was a baby. Do you have it back there?
Do you have my baby blanket?
Can you imagine
Oh my-
going into McDonald's? Yeah, let me get that Big Mac, and I guess I'll get a soft drink too. Do you have my baby blanket
By the
back
way,
there?
baby blanket is such a good term because like
Yeah.
a lot of people have baby blankets.
Did you have a baby blanket?
Hell yeah, I had a baby blanket.
Does your mom still have it?
I'm sure she do. She has all my baby boots too.
Says your baby boots?
Yeah, I have a lot of baby boots. You remember I used to have a tail? Did you ever see me with a tail?
Oh, yeah, you did have a tail.
My tail is inside one of my baby boots.
Is that weird, you think?
Yes, that's what fucked me up.
It's weird. I don't know if parents do this anymore, but I guess if they did it for you, that was only like 12 years ago, right?
Well, yeah, I mean that was the 90s. My dad still has a tail, but yeah, I think it fucked me up though, because like if I had literally a braid in the back of my head, the rest of my hair was cut, and I had a braid, so like anywhere I go, people would just be like, "Why do you have a tail?"
Did they grow that from when you were a boy, when you were born? Or
I don't
did
remember
they...
not having it until I cut it
So they
off.
must have just said like, we're gonna grow him a little tail.
A little tail. Never took care of it. It was always kind of gross.
So you were like a Padawan. You were like a
Yes,
Jedi.
that's what people would say. I was a Jedi. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I'll take it. I'll be a Luke Skywalker.
There's a little bit of my baby hair in a baby book of mine at my mom's
Aw.
place. Isn't that weird?
Nah, we'll use it in the future.
Like, for what?
I don't know. We'll find a reason.
You know what, man? What if one day scientists are like, we figured it out. We've cracked the code to how for how to get rid of individual genetic defects. And it'll only work if you have hair from when you were a baby. We can remove proteins from that and use it to repair your body.
That could happen. I think you just said the most optimistic thing.
Yeah.
That can help you solve that disease you think you don't have.
Yeah. That's the only way to cure the real bad disease I currently have.
Wow. I love you.
I love you too, Will.
Something I learned tonight since I've been in your house is that I think love is the most important thing.
It is.
I think all my fear in life comes from me thinking that love will be inaccessible to me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and also when we spoke a couple minutes ago about something that hasn't been created before, I think what that is going to take is understanding what it means to be human. And then I also thought,
empathy.
Is that what it is?
Empathy, man.
Love and all that shit. I mean,
in fact, there was an episode of Legion. Are you watching Legion?
No, I don't
You need
know
to
about
watch
that.
Legion. It's real good. It's like an X-Men show, basically, but it's like one of the best superhero things I've ever seen. And I talk about empathy a lot because empathy is a very important thing. It's a very important human trait. Without empathy, I feel you can't really. It's very.
Holy shit.
It's hard to be a good person. It's hard to be a good person. It's hard to feel emotions for your fellow human without empathy. And so I was watching this episode of Legion, I think it was the 4th episode, and it opens with this whole monologue about empathy and fear.
Empathy and fear, yeah.
And how that's what like the human mind boils down to. Empathy and fear.
And you can
it was
focus
so
on
brilliant.
either.
It was you
you
can.
gotta send me that.
It's real good. You should watch it. But
I don't even watch the show. I feel like I've heard people speak about it.
It's really, really good. I mean,
like...
it's typical. There's a lot of typical superhero shit going on, and when you strip away all the creativity and the cool costumes and the very trippy visual effects, it really is kind of like a superhero guy doesn't know what his powers are and he doesn't know he's a superhero. It's like a superhero origin story, basically, which we've seen a million of, but they're doing it in such a fun, creative, different way that it makes it so exciting and fun. But anyway, back to the love thing.
Yeah.
I think love is a very, very important thing, but not just love in the sense of being in love. I mean love as in loving other people and loving yourself.
Yes.
If you don't love yourself, then you're never going to fall in love with anybody.
You're so right. And I think I'm afraid of loving myself because I feel like this is some super personal shit to say, but like, I've accomplished a lot of things in my life and it's hard for me to say that for being a young person. And I'm afraid that if I love myself, I will go too far. And I will think that I'm afraid that I'll become like those people we see here not every day, we see around here in LA who love themselves too much.
Oh, and they're a little too up their own ass. And And
I just think that's just to me that's evil.
They think they're God's gift to the world. Stuff like that.
And I think that kills me. Entitlement, and I think that's what's standing in the way for me. I think I simply just need to love myself.
I think entitlement and kind of the responsibility that comes with any type of power, whether it's like power over an audience or power over a company or power over a state or a country.
Yeah.
I think that power brings a lot of things that a lot of people aren't ready for.
Yeah.
And there's all the varying degrees of power. Being a parent is having power. Being in a subservient relationship, you have power.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways where we can have power over people, and it's dangerous. It's very dangerous because it makes you feel like a god, essentially. And
for some people,
in fact, I've read many kind of stories about some YouTubers that even would straight up say in private to friends that they feel like they're God.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And it's and really believing that.
Yeah.
And the whole Kanye thing of like, I'm Jesus, I'm Jesus, I'm God, I'm a deity, and it's like people are like, this is God.
And it's different for like Kanye, who like he literally walks out his house and people are taking photos of him. But like, you make videos, bitch. Yeah. I mean, it's not acceptable in either way.
Yeah.
But
I think that celebrities are gods in a way. They're like the Greek and the Greek gods.
I see what you mean.
In some ways, metaphorically, in some way they're gods.
I see why you feel that way.
But like
but you're not. No one's.
I mean, we're still humans.
The way
we're
that
still
I look at it,
all blood and flesh and organs. Every single one of us.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with sitcoms, and I think the way that I look at it is I am a sitcom character. And I think that's why it's what we were talking about, like when you make a video about something completely different and all the comments are about your personal life. It's funny because, like, to me, I feel like, and I don't respond to a lot of answer people's questions because I feel like you shouldn't be able to talk to my character, who is still me and is an honest version of me. And I think that's what helps me. It's because I know that's not, you don't like me. You like Barney Stinson. You like Jerry Seinfeld's character on Jerry.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's still me and it's still honestly me. But I think they don't have that separation. They're like, this video is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem when you're talking directly to the camera.
Yeah. And you're
addressing an audience, and you're conveying that kind of familiarity of being friends with all of these people, and you're kind of giving everyone, a heightened I'm perfect version of myself.
Yeah.
And
your best version.
You're only showing everyone your best, who you are at your best. You're not really. I mean, I guess there are some people who pour out their heart and say, "This is what I'm going through," and I talk a lot about my anxiety, and I talked about my divorce way back in the day, and I talk to people about it, but. Yeah, I think it's important to kind of just be aware of if you want to be a YouTuber or a celebrity or whatever, if that's something you want, just be aware that, it's very easy to get caught in the world of being someone you're not, and then there can be problems.
And it's hard because I feel like I've tried to be something that I'm not, but in a way to try to get myself to grow. Yeah. Like me making music and doing all this other stuff that at the time wasn't me, but I wanted it to be me desperately. Yeah. So you can use that in a way to grow yourself, but the thing that people do wrong is they start acting like it. And the acting like it doesn't work. You have to really do it. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize. That we're not acting like this. We're really doing it.
Is there a phase of yours that you favor over the others, and not including the one you're currently doing?
Actually, honestly, this one I'm not really feeling. I'd say in the summer, summer me, when I was wearing the jumpsuit, I missed that version of myself. It was just honestly, I was going through a lot of shit and I was sad, but I was at it. I was not resting. I was tired as fuck, but I kept going. And that was me at my best. Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to The Void?
The Void. Oh, yeah. I used to be so depressed.
Do you ever think about The Void still?
No, I don't. When
was the last time you thought about The Void?
I haven't. Maybe I should check back in. Yeah. Nothingness is okay.
Yeah.
I think I have an issue with nothingness now because I something happened back in June, July, August, and I bubbled up and I was like, I gotta go. Yeah. I started moving forward, but yeah, I think I should become okay with nothingness. Yeah. The Void.
The Void. I remember going into The Void, man. That was good times.
Yeah. I used to not be afraid to go deep into my brain. Yeah. I felt like there was nowhere in my brain that was negative to me.
Well, have you tried meditation and stuff like that?
I have been trying lately, and I can't. I feel like I need people with me to do it for some reason.
Yeah, I can't really do it either. There's too much going on in my head. I can't really stop.
You know when we are just joking around and doing Tibetan throat singing and it's really a form of meditation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
this fucking thing is also part of it.
Yeah, the Tibetan singing bowl that you have here, perfect. Yeah. I have one of those too, and that helps me a lot. But I feel like I really wish I can go into a room and Tibetan throat sing with 8 other dudes.
And just do it?
Yeah, that's very therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what I was doing back in those days is so I was living in my house. Not everybody in my house was speaking to me. I still had the urge to speak to people. So I started Tibetan throat singing. So it was my mantra, and it really cleaned out my body.
That's cool.
Ooh, so that is okay.
That's where that comes from?
Yeah, because I couldn't do it at first, but now I can do it.
Well, Will, we're coming down to the wire on the show here, but...
Falzone's going to shoot my ass.
Mike's not going to like this episode.
Why?
I'm just kidding. So we do a thing on the show called History Road, and it's basically it's a way for us to read stories that the audience either make up or is real stories from their life. And we read them on the podcast, and Owen created a theme song for it that I'm going to play right now. Sorry for blowing out your eardrums.
History. History.
You didn't even have your fucking headphones in. You
Hell
didn't
no.
hear it. What'd you think about that song?
Oh,
Oh, you heard it.
Yeah.
You could hear it outside of the
Hell
headphones?
Yeah, my senses are sharp,
Shit, I'm listening to
motherfucker.
this. Did you
I gotta
know
be Samuel
we're
Jackson.
listening to shit wrong? We're like if you're listening to the volume of your music too loud,
Yeah.
you're destroying the fuck out
Yeah.
of your ears.
Oh, you got it.
I just read this Reddit post about how, oh my God, we are really destroying our ears.
Mm-hmm.
Like we actually are. Like some people go to a concert
No.
and then their ears are never the same after that.
Yeah.
Some people hear a constant ringing in their ears.
What?
Because of that.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, I'm terrified.
I can't like I've only been to like one real concert and it was a Drake concert and I can't. I don't
Was
know
it
why.
too loud?
And you know I love Drake, but I was just like, ooh, I can't be around people jumping and yelling. I was like, I gotta be on stage and y'all can watch me jump up there by myself.
Yeah.
I can't, like, it's too loud. I don't know why that's like fun. Like, why do y'all want to mosh pits? You know, mosh pits?
Oh yeah, I know mosh pits. I don't want anything to do with it.
I don't want anything to do with that.
I get that there's people that want to lash out and they want to just
Hell no.
fucking get in there and just get bloody and punch and throw punches and shit. I'm not one of those guys.
I'm not one of those either. Actually, though, I've always been like that. But so we were filming this. We were filming a deep dive in Hollywood, and so they saw us with these cameras, and there's these two dudes, and one of them was like, "Hey," and I was like, "All right, I'm ignoring this."
Oh, man.
He's like, hey. And I was like, so I looked at him. He said, "Shout me out on Instagram," because he saw we had all these cameras, so he assumed.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, "Nah, I'm okay." And he said, "How many followers you got?" I said, "Hella." He's like, "Fuck your followers."
And then walked away.
And yeah, I walked away. So we're all laughing. And he's just still yelling at me like, "Fuck your followers, fuck you." And I was like, deep inside, I was like, I want to just yell. But I don't want to fight.
You want to get into like a yelling
Yeah,
match.
I would love to get in a shouting match with
It's
somebody.
fun to yell. Yelling is really
It
fun.
is. I don't get to do it.
Do you remember that time Mackenzie and I were yelling at the old house
God.
all night and pissed everybody off?
Oh, that's why I can't live with you, Steve.
This history road comes from...
I love you, but I can't.
I get it, man. I'm a weird boy. This history road comes from Syed Kaiser Mumtaz, and the subject is History Road may contain Lille Cornish poo-poo. He says, I really don't know how to start these things, so I'm going to do it by saying, yes, there is a poop-related story in here, which haunts me to this very day, but before we get into it, I'd like to teach you boys how to pronounce my name so you can make fun of it. Okay. He writes, B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B-B T-dubs. I'm a listener all the way from Pakistan, if you can believe it. I've been a huge fan of both you guys for years, especially you, Mr. Esteban Zorio Cookie. I've never heard that one.
All the way in
Pakistan.
That's
I'm
incredible.
really, that's awesome. The reach of the internet astounds me every day. And I'm really loving this podcast. Insert one honk, please. Of course.
Please tell me what the best thing in Pakistan is.
I'd like to know too.
I would really.
I might visit someday.
What is it that people over there love?
My name is Kaiser. I hope I'm saying it right. So however you just pronounced it, you're wrong. Right? If you didn't say it wrong, I'd prefer you pretend to say it wrong so this whole bit doesn't make me idiot boy. You say the Kai part like ka part in California. Oh, ka.
I need to look up pictures of Pakistan so I know what it looks like.
Then the sir part like the word sir. Got it? No? Don't care? Perfect. So wait, let's try it now. Kasser.
Wow.
Yeah, Kasser.
Wow.
This man's name is Kasser. I was pronouncing it like the roll of bread the Jews love. Wow. Kaiser rolls. So when I was in second grade, our school uniform was a white polo shirt and blue knee-high shorts, which is that important in a poop story? Well, why is that important in a poop story? Beats me. So one time during class, I excused myself to the Lille boys' corner. I had never gone turd towning at school before, so I was not aware of what was waiting for me. Will, you were a similar boy.
Yeah.
You didn't like pooping in at work.
Oh no. Yeah,
Now
I
you
didn't
poop all the
I had
time
to
now?
eventually though. So I looked up Pakistan architecture and it's on 10. So
it's beautiful
oh,
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I just like sometimes I don't want to do a vulnerable act like that in public.
I get it. It's very vulnerable. You can't do, sometimes it's scary to poop because you can't escape if you need to.
You got to let your guard down.
Yeah, you got to let your guard down. Because if you're mid-poop, you can't just cut it in half and run out of there.
No.
You're going to have problems later. The school I went to was very small, probably about the size of a regular old house. So when I got to where I was told to go, when I was first admitted into the school, which I hadn't seen till that moment, That was mostly because I knew how bad the bathroom would be. As told by many classmates, I was not one of those idiots that would go investigate a shit pile just because people said it was. I was one of those idiots that would go shit on the pile, but only when the shit was being a little more than persistent. It was a tiny closet-type room, about 2 feet by 3 feet at the side of the outside of the building. And as I, a sensitive boy of 7, approached the rusted sheet metal door, an intense wave of shit smell hit my face, peeling back at least 5 layers of epidermal tissue off my now decomposing corpse boy face. It was a bad smell.
Is this the same person?
This is the same person.
What happened?
I opened the rusty door, and in it I saw the one type of toilet that I had feared. Yes, people are afraid of toilets sometimes. It was a squat toilet. Oh, man, I've heard of these toilets, man. Will, you heard of these squat toilets?
No.
They're literally like a hole in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to, like, squat over it?
Yeah.
You can go ahead and look that up. And I wasn't comfortable with spreading my baby cheeks to shit, specifically because the squat toilet, which are made of white porcelain, was completely brown. It was covered in shit. And it wasn't just brown. There were little sprinkles of green, black, and yellow in there too. I don't like this story.
Why is this an email?
I was not gonna shit on that. No way.
I feel so good about life right now, but what the fuck is going on?
Our lives are not hard. I stood in the doorway, filled up to my sphincter in hot pops turds, trademark. But I just couldn't. I backed away and started my way back to the classroom. I was in a bad situation because I really had to poop. I got about 3 feet away from the door when 2 things happened. 1, a student went past me into the bathroom. 2, I realized that I underestimated how bad I had to shit. I got a further 5 feet away from the door and felt a whole turd slide out of my body
I don't believe
and
it.
onto the concrete pavement. I was wearing shorts, as I previously mentioned, so it slid right out of the shorts. It was yellow with chunks of corn. Hence the subject of this history road. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't a healthy boy, probably.
Yeah.
That explains why I couldn't hold it in, perhaps. I stood there for a bit and just walked it off, left the poop where it was, and I literally just left. My 7-year-old brain didn't know what to do. I was stopped a few seconds later by a teacher who asked me sternly, "Who did this?" pointing to where the poop was. I saw the kid that went into the bathroom come out of the godforsaken shitty stall, and I pointed at him. She rushed toward the kid. "You ratted on that poor kid?" And I stood there for a moment when I realized that had worked. I turned around as she was checking him for poop and began to walk away again. I took a step and I felt a hand grip my shoulder. The teacher turned me around and said, "He didn't poop there." And I was scared shitless. Wink, wink. Honk, honk. She took a moment to notice a little bit of poop on my leg, which I myself had not even noticed. And she went, wait on a minute here, and then said, "You're the one who pooped." To which I said, with a taken aback inflection, "Oh!" She then had me cleaned off and gave me spare shorts that they had at the school, because apparently this happens more often than one would hope, and not nearly enough as one would want it to. I was taken back to the class, and my actual teacher made an announcement to the class saying, "If you kids want to go to the bathroom, make sure you ask to go well before then when you think you actually need to." I was then seated and everyone knew I pooped because of the spare shorts I was wearing, since they were just regular shorts and not uniform ones, so everyone knew I pooped myself, and everyone was paying attention to it, and me, which my anxious 7-year-old self did not want. That was as good as my schooling experience got, till I got to uni. By then it mellowed out. Moral of the story, don't install squat toilets. And also, if you're going to install squat toilets, try to shit into them and not on them. That was my history road. I hope you guys read it and enjoy it as much as I don't. I love the podcast. Can't wait to see it grow and be put into other formats as well. Later, oh shit, I forgot the pronunciation. Later, Kassar.
Shout out to Pakistan.
Thank you, Kassar. That's awesome, man. What a good story. I'm disgusted. You're fucking disgusting, and thank you for sharing that disgusting, awful story.
I gotta go to some of these places in Pakistan. That would change my life.
Well, that was History Road, bitches. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
History.
That's definitely on.
History.
history road.
I like that Owen maintains the continuity of off-key music tracks that we play, and off-sync music tracks.
There's an art to being bad.
There is an art to being bad, and I appreciate it.
A lot of people don't know. Like, you see shit on TV that's like, oh, they're doing this bad, but some people like Tim and Eric are genius.
Oh
at doing
yeah,
stuff
they're
bad.
great. Will.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find your stuff? Well, first of all, thanks for doing this.
Oh,
man.
no problem.
You really stepped in when really nobody else could. Like, I literally hit up. You were the last person I wanted on the podcast, and literally the last person I reached out to. I'm just
so
kidding.
glad,
It's not true.
though. I know.
I tried to get people on, and everyone was busy, and they couldn't do it during the day. And this week is crazy, and it's literally Thursday night, and this goes up today.
Does it really?
It goes up Friday, which is today. For you guys listening, you don't even know the shit I had to go through to put this up for you. But Will, thanks for coming and saving my
I'm so glad
skin.
to be here. You know, you're one of my best friends, so like, I'll do anything you need me to do.
Thanks, man. I knew you would, and I couldn't wait to do this. And one day soon we'll have you on with Mike, so the three of us can be on the show together. Normally, we have
He is also one of the
guest
people
situation.
I love and need. It's okay to need people, right?
Yeah, Mike is he's a different kind of guy, man. He's so good and nice and sweet, and he has such a big heart. And he's just always willing to help you no matter what.
I remember when I was first...
That's a valuable thing to have in a friend.
Like, in my first, like, few months of making music, like, I would just always send him my songs, and he would tell me what he thought. And, like, you know, when you first start making shit, it's gonna be garbage.
Oh, yeah.
So Falzone has heard all my garbage.
And does he, like, give it to you straight?
Yeah, he's like, you know, man.
Dude, that's what he's best at.
Yeah.
He's best at just giving it to you straight. I think either he's always been that way or he learned it from Zoya, because Zoya will just fucking straight up tell you.
Yeah, she keeps it real with him, and that's the thing, is having a person who loves you and that will tell you the truth. And that's something Owen has with you too. It's like, you can't buy that. You
it's
can't.
precious. If you have people in your life that tell you like it is, and it hurts and it sucks and you don't like it, really you should keep those people in your life, because you can't just surround yourself with yes men and people that will always agree with everything you say. You need conflict. You need people. You need challenge. You need people challenging your way of thinking.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes, and you got to know what type of challenging you is good. And once again, like I said, I have a lot of people that I go to for specific things. Some people don't know shit about some stuff, and they'll tell you their opinion on it.
Oh yeah,
gotta avoid those people.
Yeah,
you gotta know who to go to for what things.
Yeah.
So
block out all the haters with those spoons on your
exist.
eyeballs.
I realized that later.
All right. Well, fuck. Thanks for doing this, Will, and thanks to everybody for listening to Dynamic Banter. And Mike will be back next week, and then we'll have a bunch of shit to talk about. I want to talk all about his honeymoon. I want to know the sexual details of his escapades with his beautiful bride.
Like, yes, is she like, what happened?
Yeah. Like, is she a top? Is she a bottom? Is he a top? Is she a bottom?
I feel like
is he a bottom?
I feel like Falzone is a bottom. He has back problems.
He might be a bottom. You're right. He does have back problems.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, if you want to submit your history roads, you can do so at dynamicbanter@gmail.com, or you can send us some cute little shits or whatever you want to send us on Twitter at Dynamic Banter. And we have a Dynamic Banter Instagram account. That's right, Dynamic Banter on Instagram. And guys, we've been featuring your guys' awesome artwork and
so
photos.
Happy right now.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you so much, Steve. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too, man. Thanks for doing this. You know, a lot of you have got the Dynamic Banter t-shirts that we sold. You guys have been tagging us on Instagram, and we've been posting you guys fan appreciation on the Dynamic Banter Instagram page. So keep doing that. We got some real cool art on the Instagram page now that someone sent to me today that I'm going to feature on there next. And then, just keep tagging us. Tag Dynamic Banter on Instagram with whatever weird Dynamic Banter related stuff you want, and maybe you will be featured on our Instagram page. How cool is that? All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thank you, Will, our guest, for doing this. Will, you want to plug something?
Oh, yeah. You can see me, of course, on youtube.com/William Haynes TV. I make a lot of music videos and things, and a lot of upcoming stuff that we're starting to work on right now. So, cool shit, as well as People Be Like. And you can listen to my new mixtape, The Rise, on Spotify, iTunes Music, all that, Apple Music, SoundCloud, download it for free.
Spotify? Is it on Spotify?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Nice work, Will. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming, and thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next time on Dynamic Banter.
He told me to get out of his life forever.
That was a HeadGum podcast.